Today's stories include Concord devs held a Q&A on Twitter, a new Borderlands movie trailer, and bad news for Humble Games. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is WWE superstar Greg Miller.
Hello, Blessing. How are you?
I'm doing good, Greg. How are you doing?
I'm great. How'd kickball go?
Oh, let me tell you. So, it's our first week doing kickball. And, you know, one of the big reasons I wanted to do kickball is because soccer has been such a, it's been a fun time, but it's been tough losing match after match and getting demolished because soccer players are very hardcore. And so, when we first started playing soccer back in November, I think our first game was, we lost 10-0 or something like that, right? And then as the weeks went on, we started to bump down that deficit. We had a few ties as well. We had some goals.
That's what you call a moral victory.
Exactly. And so we started getting closer and closer, but in discussing whether or not to sign up for this next soccer season, I personally was like, hey, I would like a break from soccer. I would like to maybe try out another sport, see if we can get some wins under our belt in order to get the vibes up a little bit and then go back to soccer.
Well, it's that thing when you guys started doing all these intramural things, and when you first started, you announced it, I very much closed my eyes and pictured, hey, we're out there to have fun. It's a bunch of co-eds, people who are looking at, or maybe some of y'all are single, you're hooking up here and there.
Yeah, of
there's
course.
a keg over there. There's, you know what I mean? It's laid back.
Yeah.
I remember when maybe it was in DC for an internship. Maybe it was when I first moved out here, doing a similar thing of a recreational kickball thing where people showed up and they just had fun. It was all about having fun. And then you came back with these stories of you're out there and it's basically Hunter Pence is I can't play at MLB anymore, but I'm going to play this.
I'm going to come play here. And so that's the thing is, I like the idea of kickball because kickball is way more laid back sport. And you don't have the soccer tryhards. Yeah. And so yesterday for kickball, the final score was 20-3.
You won 20-3.
We lost 20-3. Oh. Yeah, no, it was rough. It was very bad.
Were they very competitive athletic people again?
Yes. So apparently the team we were facing were a bunch of D1 soccer players that decided to sign up for kickball. I don't know why we can't escape these fucking soccer players, but
I feel like if you're that, you gotta stop. You don't do that. Where's the fun anymore of just going in there and destroying?
That's what I'm saying. Because when we got there, it was great vibes. The sun was out. The way they have it set up is it's just a big grass field where there's a bunch of sports being played, right? And so on one side there's a bunch of volleyball games being played, and the volleyball looked really fun. And then there's 3 kickball games happening simultaneously, and so we're one of them. And we start off, it's when in that first inning, there's a feel of, all right, let's get our feelings in, right? Let's figure out, all right, what does it feel like to kick a ball? Where's the base?
Let's learn the simple rules of baseball
let's warm up.
And kickball,
Exactly. And it was a rough, first few kicks, and then we go to the outfield and we're like, oh, they're probably gonna have the same thing too. And then
yeah,
they have thank God they have a mercy rule.
Yeah, so someone in the chat said there was no mercy rule. Y'all got 5 runs.
17 runs is the mercy rule.
4 innings in a row.
No, it's a mercy rule per inning, right? So if you get 5 home runs in an inning, then you switch spots, right? Then the inning's over. And so they kept hitting that 5 home run mark consistently. It was actually pretty incredible. But that was only the first half. There is a second half to the sport, which is flip cup. It is kickball plus flip cup.
This is drinking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're drinking.
But not at the same time, which I find confusing because I've seen kickball games in Golden Gate Park where they're doing they've got a keg on second base and there's all these rules. That's what, when they were describing this to me, that's what I thought.
That's what I thought it was going to be. But no, you finish kickball and then you walk over to a bar that's an 8-minute walk away. And then
8 minutes. Jesus.
Yeah. And then you play flip cup in the bar. And thankfully, the flip cup game was way closer. It was way more competitive. But it just sucks playing flip cup with the team, against the team that just beat you 20-3.
You beat them there at least?
No, come on. What are you talking about?
These are soccer players. I don't know. Flip cup's different.
They're talented. These are people who are built for sport and built for competition.
If Alyssa had stayed for flip cup, I think y'all would have had a shot.
We performed bad at kickball. We didn't perform bad at flip cup. They just performed better. But I had a fun time. I will say, way more laid back than soccer. Soccer, there's this feeling of I'm barely even talking to some of my teammates at soccer, right? It's like, no, we're here for business. Like, we're here for a reason. For kickball and flip cup, everybody was way more social. Everybody was way more friendly. I'm like having to cut myself off of drinks because I'm like, whoa, I got work tomorrow. Like, I can't get too drunk because I'm just kicking it, hanging out with people at the bar. And so it's a fun time, but I think we just got to lock in. I will say I was proud of my performance. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
The three home runs, did they come off of my kick? Maybe.
Is that gonna
possibly?
You got all 3 home runs?
Well, like the bases were loaded, and then
so all runs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, home run's different.
Yeah.
Home run, I don't watch baseball.
Somebody jogs out to the center of the field. I know you don't know sports. Not doing yourself any favors.
God. Enough about all that. Remember, of course, this is a show about video games. It's Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday.
We should play Flip Cup here.
I'm down. I mean, it'd be probably good for us to practice. I would like to get some Flip Cup practice in. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or on YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. Remember, we're an 11-person team all about live talk shows. Today, after Kind of Funny Games Daily, you're actually going to get a GAMESCAST, which is not a GAMESCAST, it's a screencast.
What?
We tricked you. It is going to be our spoiler-free Deadpool and Wolverine review. You'll still get your in-review later in the week, I believe, but this will be the spoiler-free one.
Yes, you will.
You will. Okay, yes. I didn't know if it was this week or not. I don't know.
I hear you. Yeah, no. We are actually recording it today. But the idea is we're not putting out early because we're going to spoil the entire movie. So it's like people haven't had the chance to see it, but it'll be live for you when you're ready after you watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
There you go. And then after that, the stream is Call of Duty Warzone, Greg Miller's first dub.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm dropping in Verdansk, if it still is, for the first time ever. Why? Mommy's in the game. Rhea Ripley. You put WWE superstars in a game, I'm there. And I think that since I've never played my Blueberry lobbies, hopefully Andy.
Blueberry lobbies.
Yeah. You know when you start a game, you're a Blueberry. Destiny talk. Come on, act like you've played a video game before.
Is that a real...
You made that up. Come
Barrett,
on.
is that a real thing?
That's not a real
thing.
Destiny psychos in the chat. Help me out.
You're a blueberry? Why do they call it a blueberry?
Do I look like I fucking play a lot of Destiny? I just thought I was a goddamn blueberry when I did it.
That's absolutely a thing?
Yeah, I'm not making it up.
Chad, is it just for Destiny or is this just a video game
That's a thing for Destiny 2, apparently.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm a proud little blueberry.
Blueberry.
I'm all small and tart. Anyways, I'm hoping I get a bunch of people who, early people who are starting too. And then, Andy and Mike and Nick can just shoot them all in the head and I'll get my points or whatever.
You are from a different universe. Blueberry? But yeah, once again, we have partnered with...
all the chat is confirming it, so maybe we're from different universes now, plus.
I mean, I've been
yeah, you've
convinced of that
definitely
for a while.
been. Yeah.
We partnered with NVIDIA GeForce to show off all their fun tech in Call of Duty Warzone, but today, Greg Miller joins the normal stream crew of Mike, Nick, and Andy. Stay tuned after KFGD and Screencast for all the shenanigans brought to you by NVIDIA GeForce.
I'm on the Destiny subreddit. Mm-hmm. What is a blueberry? Blueberry. Any random that is a blue dot on your radar, ergo blueberry. Which is different from a kindergarten Destiny noob below level 40, who generally is new to the game. Glad I could help.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Grow up. If you're a kind of funny member, you can get today's Gregway, which is about blowing up how Kind of Funny does programming. Also, are you heading to San Diego Comic-Con? You can come see Nick. He'll be moderating the behind the scenes with Mondo panel in room 6DE. It's Thursday, July 25th at 4:30 p.m. And then also, if you couldn't get a badge, no problem. We'll also be hosting a comedy show at the American Comedy Company, the American Comedy Co. That is Thursday night at 8 p.m. with Mark Ellis and Friends. Grab your tickets for the comedy show at kindafunny.com/SDCC. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twining. Today, we're brought to you by NVIDIA and our Portillo merch, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We had 6 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
We have 6 stories today. It's been a while since I hosted this show.
How's it feel?
I feel the rust.
Yeah,
I feel what you're
I
talking
know,
about.
rust, yeah.
I also did, shout out once again to Evo. One of the Kind of Funny best friends I ran into, super cool dude, but it was really funny because I was walking to my seat during the main event and a dude sees me, he's like, oh, bless, and I'm like, oh, what's up? And he shakes my hand, whatever. He's like, oh, I watch all the time. A baker's dozen. Time for some news. And I'm like, All right, cool. Thanks, man.
You're like, you fucking loser.
Yeah, I was like, stop being a nerd, right? Get it together. Lock in. We're in public.
We gotta look respectable. We're this fighting game competition, all right? People can't know.
People can't know. All right, story number 1. This one's a different one. I want to do a vibe check on Concord. We've been talking a lot about Concord. Concord's gotten 2 betas happening, or that have happened over the last couple of weeks.
Super chats.
Today, there was a tweet from @PlayConcord, the Concord Twitter account, where they thanked everybody who took part in the Concord beta, but then also they did a little Q&A where they answered a lot of questions about Concord. So I want to get into the Q&A. Okay. As I'm getting into the Q&A, I do want to, shout out a super chat question. Is Concord enough for $40? That's been like the big conversation that we've had. Yeah. We were talking about this a little bit on GameScast yesterday as far as like, I don't know if the market is supporting the $40
There's such a cork, right, to pull out of it that I want to get to. But yeah, is it worth $40? Sure. Do you care? Are you going to play it? That's the super chat vibe check I need.
Yeah.
Why are you playing it, or why are you not going to play it? Thank you very much.
So jumping into the Q&A from Concord, the first question they ask and answer, how many maps and modes will be available at launch? There will be 12 distinct maps available when Concord releases in August, including the 5 maps you experienced during the early access and open beta weekends. All 6 of the modes featured in the Concord beta, Takedown, Trophy Hunt, Area Control, Signal Chase, Clash Point, and Cargo Run will be available on day 1 as well. These lineups will grow soon after Concord's release through regular post-launch seasons and updates, which will introduce new free gunners, maps, and more. And then they ask, what other kinds of progression rewards will be in the game? The progression rewards you saw in the beta are just a small sample of the unlockable items in the full game. When Concord launches, we'll have the hundreds of items to customize your free gunners, which you can earn just by playing the game, completing jobs, and leveling up your account and characters. These rewards are cosmetic, do not impact gameplay, and include outfits, wearables, and accessories, as well as weapon skins, weapon charms, victory and defeat poses, and drop-in animations. They then go on to ask, will there be a battle pass? They respond, Concord will not have a battle pass. They go on to explain it, but I feel like that's just it. They then ask, will there be post-launch content? Launch is just the beginning. We'll be introducing new free gunners, maps, modes, and more through regular post-launch seasons and updates available to all players at no additional cost. We'll be diving deeper into our post-launch roadmap very soon. Stay tuned. They ask, will there be more in-game cinematics? They answer, the beta showcased the first 3 of our cinematic vignettes, which will be released weekly in-game at launch. As you saw, these brief cinematics will allow you to get to know the characters and learn about life as a free gunner in the broader Concord galaxy. Talking about variants and systems, they asked how many free gunner variants will be in the game. They basically say there will be more free runner variants. We don't have to get into that. They talk about, will the game have a lever penalty system? They say ensuring teams are complete and evenly matched throughout a game is a priority for us. We are exploring a variety of methods, including lever penalty systems, to incentivize players to start and stay in complete teams. Stay tuned for more updates. And then moving on from there, the last pick they have here are talking about solo modes and training. Will there be solo PvP modes like free for all? They answer, at launch, we will have 6 distinct 5v5 team-based modes, which range from more approachable respawn-based modes like Trophy Hunt to more competitive modes like Cargo Run, all of which can be queued for as a solo player. We will not have solo-specific modes at launch, but our lineup will grow over time through regular content updates. And then they ask, will there be any form of a training mode? They then answer, alongside trying out different free gunners and matches, at launch, you will also be able to familiarize yourself with the core mechanics, movement, and select characters' abilities and gear in special single-player training modes. Greg, I know you're not in the market, really, for Concord.
Sure.
But I know you've seen the conversation and, like, where people have taken it as far as $40, is it worth it? Am I going to show up for all these things? Do any of these answers for these questions, I guess, speak to the concerns that you've seen about Concord?
No, I don't think so. Again, as you say, I am not the target audience for this. When they introduced it and they showed a cool Guardians of the Galaxy like trailer, I was like, okay, hold on. And then they were like, no, it's fucking Overwatch. Like, I'm good. No, this is not the kind of game I'd want to play, which of course is a problem because I am the PlayStation guy. Like, I am the PlayStation gamer. I am the, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to get, I understand, expand the fan base and do a million different things and serve an audience that's clearly there or whatever. But the thing that I run into, and again, super chat away, please. This is not meant to be doom and gloom. It's meant to be industry analysts who I would say is objective on this since I don't have a horse in the race, right? It's just one of those, they're talking and talking and talking, which is great. But the problem is it's not answering the question I think people are looking at of like, why is this game special? Why spend money on this when there's free alternatives that are doing other things, right? I have a million different tabs pulled up because I love this conversation. I love these kind of like, let's take a look at the industry, what's happening. We'll get to your super chats in a second, right? But there's this post over on the Concord subreddit, right, that went up 36 minutes ago, and it says, I love Concord, but it's DOA. The level of denial in this sub is reaching Kill the Justice League levels already. This game is exciting, and the closest we have to an Overwatch Crucible combo, but it's clearly not going to sell well. Marvel Rivals already has 50 times more players in the closed beta. Not to mention Valorant is coming to consoles this summer as well as Overwatch 2 being insanely popular. What does Concord do better than any of these games? The answer is nothing. Hell, even the price itself is $40 higher than any of these games. It stands no chance, and pre-ordering is pointless. Just wait for a sale or eventually free to play. Obviously, if you're dead set on buying this game, you do want it. I personally plan to buy it at a deep sale, assuming it's still going months from now, right? And this brings in then, again, an outsider perspective. I haven't even touched the game because I'm just not interested in it. I know you have, and I want that perspective, but to start bringing in other information, right? Paul Tassi, who is over at Forbes, does amazing work, and for me is always what is the pulse of a live service, right? He's the one who finally, like, I didn't want to, maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, was like, I'm going to finally stop covering Kill the Justice League. Like, it's just not worth my time, and nobody cares, and nobody's playing it, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Like, he's had a whole bunch of stuff, right? But, like, his latest Forbes article that I pulled right before this, right, is there is no spinning how poorly Sony's Concord open beta went on Steam, right? The peak for the open beta is way too low. The game peaked at 2,388 players on Thursday when it launched. That is a very, very low amount of players for the context of a new multiplayer release. Interest in the beta declined from day one. Combat is good, but does not stand out enough, right? The roster is not compelling. Some of this is editorializing, right? It's $40. He's laying out his argument for it. What I think is really fascinating, I didn't even know this, over at trophies.com, they have an article up that's strictly about the PlayStation numbers, right? And it says, Concord's second free weekend on PlayStation 5 defies logic with an 8% player drop. This is Kess over at, like I said, at TrueTrophies.com. Concord PS5 beta player count defied logic over last weekend, with the second, more accessible test for the 5v5 shooter proving less popular than the first. What I'm talking about here, of course, is that Concord has 8.1% fewer players in the second open beta than in the early access beta. So the one where you had to pre-order and had more players than the one where it's like, all right, anybody can go play this kind of thing. Like, I understand that the game is good. People are playing it, enjoying it. You did that. Andy has done that. Micah may be a little bit more lukewarm on it, right? Even the one, the only, right? Paris Lily tweeted, delay Concord, make it free to play, and think about adding a PvE mode to advance the story. Launching it next month with the current model is setting it up for fail. I say this as someone who enjoyed the beta, and I want to see it succeed. That's Paris still, right? And then to pull in the other part here, right, I'm going to push square, where Sammy Barker says, Marvel Rivals closed beta is putting Concord's player numbers into perspective. Marvel Rivals closed beta launched overnight, and it's blowing up. On the PC platform Steam, the title peaked at over 52,671 players, a staggering number when you consider the online stress test requires an invite to be enjoyed. By comparison, the recent Concord open beta, which was free for everyone to download and try, peaked at just 2,388. If I'm reading the tea leaves and stepping back from this, I don't see how Concord pulls this out. It has to launch, and it has to be fucking amazing for people to go like, I'm all about this. I want in.
Yeah.
And it's not the Helldivers situation, which was another $40 game. Granted, different genre and everything else, but was oh man, there's something here. It could be cool. It could be this. It could be, and then you got your hands on it. Go. People are playing this. People are into Concord. They know it. You like it, but what is
the difference with Concord and Helldivers?
I mean, again, I have to turn it to you as someone who doesn't like Helldivers but has played both.
Yeah.
As somebody who hasn't played Concord, for me, it's just like, oh, I don't even want to do this mode. I don't like these hero shooters.
Yeah.
And if I did like a hero shooter, like the good example is I have downloaded the Marvel Rivals test, but I have not started it because I go to it and I'm like, I'd rather play Diablo. Whereas like Concord, I never even bothered because it's like I have no bridge into that. Helldivers obviously was a sequel. Obviously, it was but it's also PvE, which is way more my speed. What I like to do with people and get together and fight bugs and have the leveling system and da.
And also, like, might as well not even be a sequel, right? With like the amount of people that are showing up for
9 years later,
other 9 years later,
people like me,
different, like even sort of different genre of video game, right? When you're talking about like it being behind the back and everything that's doing in its setup. Like for me, the Concord story is very fascinating, just from what the game is, how they presented it, how it plays, and like just the lack of reception, right now the headline for this episode of KFGD is Concord dead on arrival, and I think the answer is going to be a strong yes. And the reasons why I don't think have to do with the game being bad, right? I've seen all the debate in the world on Twitter as far as like, Concord, it looks boring, and I'm like, listen, I think that could be a fair critique for many reasons for different people depending on who you are. When I play Concord, I'm like, this is a fun time. Yeah. I'm enjoying myself. This works as a PvP shooter. They're marketing it as something. Well, the one thing I do like in this Q&A is how they talk about like, oh yeah, we got post-launch content. We're like, we're supporting this, but also it is being presented as a complete game. It's not being presented as like necessarily a live thing that's going to be monetized to death.
You're having a fun time with it.
Yeah.
Are you having $40 of fun with it? Like, would you go tell your friends, hey, you should pick this up? Or would you say we should jump into
possibly, honestly. Like, I wouldn't be mad at paying $40 for this, but I do think that I'm a bit on an island with that. I do think that, and when I ask the question of what makes Helldivers 2 different, right? Like, I look at both these games. I know they're very different genres, different types of games, right? But they're both presented as these live multiplayer $40 packages, and Helldivers 2 seeing all the success in the world with it, and Concord, people are looking at that as like how dare you charge $40 with that? I think a lot of that just comes down to genre and the space that it's in. Where you look at Overwatch, you look at COD Warzone, you look at any battle royale game. People brought up
Valorant.
Fortnite.
I also don't play Valorant or even really understand Valorant, so I don't know if that's a apt comparison.
But like so many of Concord's competitors have gone free to play, and I think that is tarnished the idea of a PvP shooter, even a good one, coming out and charging. And I don't like that. Like I feel like you should be able to come out and make the argument that, hey, we want to make a complete thing. Like, we're not going to fucking, have a 10-year plan and charge for DLC and do all this shit. We're going to put out a complete game and have it be a thing of you can buy it, play it, and cool, like, have a good time like any other video game.
I think there's so much to pull in from yesterday's GamesCast, a great one where I asked you to send in your hot takes, right? I think, again, in many ways, PlayStation is trying to make this game for me in terms of a PlayStation fan. Stick with me, just let me make the argument, right? When they should be making this game for the people who exist in the space already. I would jump to yesterday's hot take, right? Where there was the guy who called in and was like, I don't give a shit about story in video games. It's about competition. I just want to go and do this, right? I would say that if you jump and look at Concord, PlayStation and the developer Firewalk, Aloy drink Sprite, Firewalk seems dedicated to this. We're building a story. We're doing these cinematics weekly. We're building out a narrative and in a way that I think that guy is the audience for this game, and I think those people don't give a shit about the story. You look at Snowbike Mike, who skips every cutscene, even in story-based games, right? But especially in this, like, Warzone doesn't have a story, right? Like, Mike wouldn't give a shit if it did. He just wants to jump in and play the thing and go shoot the thing. And so again, I think it's Sony trying to take what's been successful for them is single player stuff and put it into a multiplayer package as they expand live service.
The place I will disagree with that is that if you boot up Concord, the story, like, it starts off with a cutscene in the beginning, but once you get into it, the story does not matter whatsoever, right? Like, it is just like Overwatch. It is just like any other competitive game. It just has a skippable cutscene at the beginning of it, which a lot of these games do, right? Usually at the beginning of a season.
Sure.
And so I think in the marketing, they're putting that stuff a bit more forward, but in the reality of playing that game, that stuff that stuff is not important to the core experience of Concord. I'm sure I'll probably have a disagreement with the developers about that. I'm sure they'd be like, no, like, watch the cutscenes. No, nobody's gonna watch the cutscenes, and I think that's fine, right? I think the gameplay is good.
My problem is, though, I think the cutscenes and the writers and the plan and all that that costs money. And that's where I get hung up on this, where I'd rather see that stuff stripped out or stripped down to where it is in all these other games as one cutscene and you're done, right?
Yeah.
And then you're not putting that onus on the player at the front. It's back to the whole argument of, would you rather pay $40 or would you rather get it free? And I feel like when you are launching a game that, again, is fun. You've said that. I believe you. I've heard nobody be like, I didn't enjoy the game. But when you're launching a game that, again, objectively from the outside, looks so fucking generic, looks so generic. You know what I mean? Like, if you're doing that and you're putting it up against, granted, games that were also generic at one point or brand new at one point, but like are established now that have their own identity. Like, I can't believe it's an interesting, almost like that Price is Right game where they put stuff up and you got to order the prices. Where it's like, if you put Marvel Rivals up, right, and you put Concord up, I'd be like, oh, well, clearly they're going to charge for Marvel and they're going to give you Concord. Concord will be the free-to-play one, get you in the door, make you care about these things, microtransaction you. Whereas Marvel will be like, no, we're going to pay $40. We're fucking Marvel, right? But it's the inverse of it, which is going to benefit Marvel so much. I'm a looky-loo. I love Doctor Strange. I love Spider-Man. Whatever. I'll see if I like this game.
Yeah.
And you do or you don't, and you move on. But that's going to get so many more people. Then they get to this precipice of, oh, it's $40. But I'm invested in Overwatch already. I already got friends if I wanted to go play that.
And here's the thing: I look at myself as as somebody who's in the core market for this game because I fucking loved Overwatch, right? And like,
you love clicking heads.
I love clicking. Well, not as much as Andy, but like I do love playing Overwatch, and I've kind of fallen off of Overwatch mainly because it's been 7 years since that games came out, right? Overwatch has like become sort of an old game now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not the game I want to spend all my time in. One of the things I've seen thrown around is people talking about how like, oh, Concord's just another hero shooter. Oh, they're making another one of these. I don't think there's that many hero shooters that are mainstays. Like, if let's count how many hero shooters there are that are doing it the way that Overwatch is doing, or like that are in the same kind of arena shooter space that like Concord is in. You know, I think you can bring up a Valorant, but Valorant is way more tactical Counter-Strike style. And as you go down the list, like, I think that is one of the big reasons why I have been very excited for Concord is, yeah, I'm looking for something that has that feel. I am looking for the next Overwatch. And Marvel Rivals is, I think, a good one to bring into this conversation because I think Marvel Rivals is posing itself to be that. It is the closest thing to Overwatch that I've played as far as presentation, style, voice acting. Like, I was playing it last night and it's like, dude, it feels like I'm just picking up Overwatch again. I still, and maybe this might be either a hot take or maybe this is just me playing the betas, and maybe over time I'm gonna prove myself wrong with this. I've had a better time playing Concord than I've had playing Marvel Rivals, at least in terms of gameplay. I think in presentation, Marvel Rivals got it. In terms of like even just interest from the outset, Marvel Rivals has it. And that's the thing is, you're right that Concord just has a genericness to it that isn't making it stick, I think, on the marketing level. And I think a lot of Concord's downfall in this whole conversation is on the marketing level and advertising level where, yeah, like at that first trailer reveal, or not the first trailer, but I guess the last PlayStation State of Play trailer, what was special about Concord? Oh, it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy meets Overwatch. All right, cool. But there's this generic nature to it. Playing it, one of the characters I use a lot is Itzy, and like I like her abilities. But I do not like how this character looks. She has a fucking weird ass smile. She just looks like dollar store Gamora.
Can I jump in here?
Go for it.
We have asked for super chats. We have a bunch of them. Thank you so much. Demon Hacker says, I honestly don't think the characters are hot enough. Valorant / Overwatch are pushed with their creepy Pornhub presence. Concord isn't lootable enough. Crass way to say it, but I mean,
I get it. I get where they're coming from. Yeah.
Like, that was always, again, as an outsider who doesn't play these games, right? Tracer, when she dropped in Overwatch, right, was always like, she became the poster child for everything. People thought she was so hot or cute or whatever. I don't know. Pervs.
And I don't like the idea that, hey, in order to make your shooter game successful, your characters got to have their titties out. you know, like, of course. I don't think that needs to be the case. But I do think there's a design appeal.
But even stepping back from that, again, that's Demon Hacker's thing. Like, for me, looking at this, like, I look at the three characters on these tweet graphics. Barrett, if you can throw one up, right? Of basically Red Hulk, Sean Gunn, and maybe somebody from Mass Effect. Maybe my secretary in Mass Effect. Where I'm like, all right.
I mean, yeah,
these guys don't look cool. Again, as somebody who never played Overwatch, that talking gorilla was cool. Tracer had cool glasses.
None of them
I remember a guy in a cool cowboy hat at one point in one of these games.
Dude, on the left great. Is, again, like, you can look at a lot of these characters and go, oh, you're dollar store this, you're dollar store that. Yeah. Dude on the left, like, he's dollar store Peter Quill, but he's an alien, right? Girl on the bottom, she's that one girl that'll put people to sleep, Mantis. She, like, as I go, there's even a character, I think this dude on the top, actually I like playing this character a lot. I forget his exact name, it's Star something. And when I first saw his name, I was like, Star-Lord? I was like, oh no, it's Star Child or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's too derivative, and I agree in terms of the design appeal. It's not there in Concord,
and none of them give main character energy. Whereas in Overwatch, it's like an array of people, and you could select any single one and be like, "Oh, is that the main character of the game?" kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
or most of them. Whereas like these all feel like kind of supporting characters, and these are your three kind of like headlining things.
And that I agree with. And yeah, you go to back to the Marvel Rivals conversation. I think that's why you see a different feel when it comes to that. Is from the offset. One, it's Marvel IP, which is going to get people excited. It's Marvel IP mixed with an Overwatch setup, which is going to get people more excited. And the art style looks fantastic. And so, like, in a way, it's like, yo, we can figure out the gameplay later. At least we got people in on a conceptual level. I don't think Concord has people coming in on a conceptual level, but I do think that it makes me sad that, like, this kind of game is seeing such a fucking drop off in terms of, like, oh, people do not give a fuck, and like there's another side of people that just want to fucking hate on this game because it's a shooter.
That's the wheat from the shaft kind of thing of like, could this actually, or is it dead on arrival? Nobody knows till it comes out. Even the numbers of like, well, betas aren't doing well. It's like, well, yeah, but like, it's a beta, right? Like, I think, especially for a game that's out in a month. Like, I want to be, oh man, I got to jump into this beta and try it out. I want to do that because there's other things to play right now.
I've had conversations with friends that work at PlayStation that are like, yeah, no, it's rough out here when we're looking at like the like pre-orders and stuff like that, right? Like, it is not looking good right now for Concord. But who knows? Like, maybe the game comes out and maybe those 8 maps that we've not seen, maybe those are fire enough to bring people in. I don't think that's gonna happen. I do think we already know. I do think it's dead on arrival. Sadly.
I would think so as well. And I think, I want to get to all these different conversations and see if there's, super chats in there that are defending it or going for it. My main problem with it is, like, yesterday, again, in the amazing GAMESCAST you should watch or listen to, there was the hot take of, if Concord fails, it's, on us. We don't deserve multiplayer games. Not us, but, like, us as gamers. Because, of course, this is a $40 complete package. This is what we should be encouraging, yada, yada, yada. And while I think there's truth to that, of course, because everybody pushes back against freemium and microtransactions and battle passes and yada, yada, yada. It also isn't just a binary light switch on off. I know I use that analogy too much, but it is this idea of like, well, yeah, but like also games have to be compelling. And you can have a really fun game, but if I don't look at it and it looks interesting and it isn't fun or it isn't inviting or it's all these, like, why isn't Concord hitting? Because it seems mid. You know what I mean? Even like you're enjoying your time with it, but is it a contender for you based on gameplay? Like,
no, yeah.
That's the thing, right? Where it's like, again, we exist in 2024 where it seemingly weekly, and it's a bit quiet right now, but seemingly monthly, there's 3 Game of the Year contenders and this thing and that thing. And are you watching this show? Are you doing that? There's so much shit to engage with and enjoy and watch and play that when you get something that's like, yeah, it's a really solid game. It's like, all right, well,
yeah.
No.
I think the one thing I'll say and push back to that is that I feel like getting very solid arena shooters, like PvP arena shooters, isn't as often of a thing, right? Like, if you're somebody that's playing everything, if you're somebody that's like just looking for the next game to play, I understand that.
Yeah.
But again, this comes back to the reason why I was like, oh, I'm kind of looking forward to this, is that I like, how often do we get an Overwatch style game? Like right now, the 2 that we're looking forward to are Concord and Marvel Rivals, right? But it's not like we're getting these every single month. It's not like we're getting these like crazy. But yeah, like we'll see how this does. We'll see like what it looks like at actual launch. It's not looking good, but when we're looking at the super chats, right? Like, I want to bring people in. Madog Nick 96 writes in and says, "I care about Concord. What more could Firewalk do to entice players past the $40 threshold? Is changing to F2P free to play simply enough? Is this telling for either fair games or marathon down the line?" And I think that's a very good question. Right? Like,
fucking fair games, get out of here.
I do think that it'd be cool to see them switch to free to play, because I think that is what people want, and that would theoretically like save a lot of what's going on here with the player count and all that. But yeah, like I don't even know if that's enough, right? Like I think there's just so much bad word of mouth for this game, and there's so much like I think in terms of the community riding against it that I don't know if they're gonna be able to like to gain that. Even going free to play, but I do think going free to play might be just the right decision if they have that ability still.
They don't. That's done. That's way. You've already started taking pre-orders and doing all this stuff, and you've built the game. Like that is a conversation you should have had a year ago, more than that, right? And then it would have delayed everything to get it on board. Like the ship has sailed on free to play. There's no actual way to do that right now. There is the way to launch the game, have it struggle for 6 months to a year and then switch to free to play. But I bet if it is as bad as it looks, I bet in a year that studio's closed and this game's just done.
In regards to Fair Games and Marathon, like I wonder.
Marathon's got Bungie behind it, so
Marathon
like they'll be juiced to that of what is this thing, yada yada. Fair Games, again, we've seen one trailer. It's a brand new studio. It's Haven, right? It's Jade Raymond. It was part of the bad state of play of here's all these different live service games. Everyone's like, we don't want these, and they're like, fuck, shit. All right, we'll talk to you later. So it's like that one is the extraction, right? The teamwork.
Don't ask me.
So it's like we're doing bank heists or whatever the fuck it is. And like that could work.
I think if they were planning $40 for Fair Games, I think right now they're having discussions about making it free to play. I think for sure. I don't think you see PlayStation try to replicate the $40 for a PvP thing. Maybe with Marathon because it's Bungie, and I think maybe they could deliver like that quality. But I think even with Marathon, I think the conversations start to get into, all right, what does a free-to-play structure look like for these games?
We'll see.
CJ Splitson writes in and says, for me, this shows the double-edged sword of Steam concurrent users. When something isn't hot out the gate, you get dozens of articles about why it's DOA. Shame.
100%.
Yeah.
There's nothing, you're not wrong about that at all. People go through and nickel and dime those numbers to spin whatever narrative you want and how it is. Again, for my money, it's a beta, so I really don't think it counts because, okay, you're doing this thing and your progress doesn't cross and it's coming over here and da-da-da. And I think even the open-closed nature of it was kind of not confusing, but as somebody who's just casually paying attention, I was like, oh, I'm not going to pre-order it. Mm-hmm. Oh, but now it's open. Okay, well, I don't care.
Bringing a couple more. Buck Skin and Stud 32 says, quit my job to go full-time in my business. In a business my best friend and I started. I'm so excited. Love you guys and all you do. Thank you so much, Buck.
Congratulations. Enjoy that, Buck.
And then Cody Boone writes in and says, Buck Skin Stud. Love you guys. Thanks for the entertainment, says Cody Boone. Thank you, Cody. Atark Cade says, how bad was The Last of Us Online if that got canceled, but Concord got greenlit?
Again, multiple conversations to be had there. I think it was never probably that far along. I don't think the game came together. I know this. Every time I say this, people are like, no, Greg, they said in their statement that it was just that they didn't want to change the DNA of it. I'm like, if they had a game that was going to be a gajillion sellers and was the most fun multiplayer game of all time, Sony and Last of Us would have, or Naughty Dog would have made it work.
Is this speculation or is this inside knowledge?
Speculation. Okay. 100%. 100%. Yeah. No. Because I've had conversations with devs who worked on it who were like, oh, it looked good, or it was fun, or this. And it's like, cool, but like I just don't buy that. Like the only reason was, well, we worked on this for years, and then we looked and decided, oh shit, it's going to change the DNA of the company, and yada yada. It's like,
I do think there's a scenario that I believe in based on their statement that is like, oh, we realized how much work post-launch content is, because that ends up killing a lot of games. Like you look at Halo Infinite. Not that Halo Infinite's dead now, because I know Halo Infinite's doing well now. But in that first year, Halo Infinite dropped. People were having a blast with it, but then the sentiment around it got really bad because the post-launch wasn't there. And I think that happens a lot with these live service things. I could see Naughty Dog being like, ooh, like after that check-in with Bungie, with like whoever at Bungie, where they're like, doing the assessment, Bungie being like, hey, the post-launch for this, you guys are going to have to be all hands on deck to actually support this thing. And Naughty Dog going, oh, we didn't realize that it was going to be that difficult to do this or need that much manpower to do this. You don't believe that?
I just don't. Like, I think that if so, that's so short-sighted. How are you making this game and never thought about the fact that you're going to have to support it after the fact? I think if you're PlayStation, you keep acquiring these kind of studios. Again, I'm just trying to put myself in Herman's shoes.
It's that developer magic. Like, we hear it from all the best developers of, like, BioWare, and I forget if CD Projekt maybe had this too, of like, oh, we are BioWare. Like, we have the BioWare magic. Of course we're going to make this a banger.
It'll come together. Always has.
But again, this isn't the same argument. The CD Projekt Red and the BioWare magic and all that was, oh shit, the game didn't come together. It's not good. Mm-hmm. It's not, well, we got 90% to the finish line and then discovered we'd have to make more stuff for it. We can't do that. Sorry. That's years of work out the window because we couldn't figure that part out. Again, I'm Herman Hulse. I'm playing this game. I'm like, holy shit. This is an amazing multiplayer game that is exactly what we want out of these live service initiatives. It will make so much money. It is the Last of Us factions online. This is incredible. Oh, you guys don't want to make any stuff after the fact? You're right. Throw it away. I would have been like, Concord fucking canceled. You guys are making fucking post-launch content for this game. You're taking over from here. The baton's been passed. Good luck. And even if it was like, it's 90% of the way there, We just don't want to do it anymore. Cool. Thanks for that 90%. Firewalk, Haven, stop what the fuck you're doing. Games that are not going to make money and nobody gives a shit about them, and come finish the 10% of this.
We got a bunch more.
Don't believe the lies. They fed you lies, and you don't keep believing them.
I believe in Naughty Dog. All right, make me that
I believe
next
Joe
game.
Henry.
Where's the fucking
Henry,
next game?
That's it.
We got a bunch more super chats, but we'll get to those later. For now, let's get to story number 2. But before we do that, let's get to the ads. Of course, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny and youtube.com/kindafunnygames, where you can get the Kinda Funny membership, which allows you to get shows ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
New merch alert! We brought back the Portillo hat and t-shirt in new colors, as well as a stylish crew neck. I also wrote a children's book about Portillo, and you loved it so much that we sold out in just 3 hours. Wow, thank you! But fear not, we're doing another limited run. So if you want one, head over to kindafunny.com/store, click the books page, and hit notify me when available to make sure you know when it goes live. And while you're there, grab a few shirts for your friends.
And we're back with story number 2. Greg, let's talk about something that we can all agree is going to be a banger. The Borderlands movie.
Oh, Jack Black!
Kevin Hart. The final trailer is out.
Okay, we haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it either, so we're going to live react to it.
Love it. Let's go.
Barrett, let that
Kate
thing spray.
Blanchett.
Brave vault hunters! You've come in search of the secret lost vault of Pandora!
You ready to kick some ass?
Okay, let's go.
Hey. Catch! If the legends were true,
I'm the only one who can open the vault. What are you doing?
Janina!
feel free to applaud.
Follow me this way. I have a tremendous sense of
Nobody kills me but me!
Here they come! Put the window up.
I don't want to.
It's pink.
It's in my mouth.
You get a bullet. You get a bullet.
big bullet coming.
How are we gonna get through this?
Everybody run!
That's one of those trailers that, like, I wonder if there's like a template online that trailer makers share around, because it feels like they dragged the movie into a trailer template and went make trailer.
AI.
Yeah, AI, like they let AI make the trailer.
They showed them every single Guardians of the Galaxy trailer from 1 through 3, and they're like, make a trailer based off of this vibe.
So have you seen the latest season of The Bear?
I'm not finished yet.
It's so good.
I guess if you've seen like past seasons of The Bear, you know that Jamie Lee Curtis is in it.
Oh yeah,
and like, you know, she gives such an it was like such a reminder of like, oh damn, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's fucking good.
Yeah.
There's a moment in this trailer where she makes a facial expression where I'm like, where'd it go? Like, what happened? Like, why do you look like this, Jamie Lee Curtis?
Hey man, that's
like
direction.
right here. I'm like, this is you were in The Bear.
Well, first off, she's doing like this. Maybe she got stung by a bee. You know,
that's what it looks like.
In the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I mean, I didn't know I could get unexcited. Like, that's the thing is, I was excited.
That shot looks awful, by the way, real quick. The one as the vault forms there, the vault entrance forms, like, this looks like the worst green screen of all time.
This looks like
they shot it here.
Like, yeah, it looks like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or any like kind of Warner Brothers things where like
right, that's the painted wall they're all staring at.
That's the painted wall that they're about to run into. And like the circle, like the holes in the floor are not really like they're like painted on and shit.
Yeah,
that hole does look like a Looney Tunes hole.
It does. It's so weird.
Like the Roadrunner painted it on the ground. No, it's funny because I was looking forward to this movie, not in like it's gonna be a fantastic kind of way, but more in a I like Borderlands and this looks like it could be fun, and I like Kevin Hart and I like the cast.
Yeah, the cast's great.
This trailer kind of brought me back to earth in a way where I'm like, I'm like, I assume we have plans as kind of funny to see this movie.
I'm on vacation when it drops. I don't know what you guys are doing about it.
Oh, Greg, you know what you did.
Now I'm kind of dreading it.
That vacation.
I'm dreading it a little bit now, where I'm like, oh, but now I'm gonna sit through 2 hours of this.
So I'm with you that the damning thing I would say, I guess the most damning, is that like it looks like a trailer I would watch in a movie. You know what I mean? Like when they do the joke of like they're like talking and then they what about this new Jack Black movie, and they spin the trailer around and it's like a trailer shot just for that movie. Like, I'm not the action guy. That fight scene doesn't look right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That fight scene doesn't look right. I know I'm going to like the creme de la creme here, but like after seeing the fight scenes in Deadpool and Wolverine, that fight scene doesn't look right. That doesn't look like a real fight scene. And then my other thing is, granted, this is how trailers should work, that they don't show the entire movie, but I feel like off the 3 trailers we've gotten, maybe 2 and a teaser, I don't know, I'm already sick of the things I'm seeing. Like the pee thing through the window, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like even the sets, I feel like this is what Borderlands looks like. I don't know. Yeah. This to me is going to be, I'm not here when it comes out. I don't know how that happened, Barrett. I don't know how that happened.
So convenient.
I'm not here when it comes out, but I do like the cast. So if people leave and they're like, it's fine, this will be a fine Amazon rental for me when it finally gets to, I'm not going to make plans and get a babysitter to go out and watch this.
I think for me, looking at this trailer, coming off of Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm having like kind of the opposite thing as you, where you're like, yo, Deadpool and Wolverine was like here, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think I'm kind of over just like this brand of movie. Like, it's junk food, right? I'm not looking at this and trying and wanting Citizen Kane, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, I think Deadpool and Wolverine in like my junk food pantry, that was like just drinking sugar. And this, like, after drinking sugar, I'm looking at this as like a stale cookie, and I'm like,
okay,
like I'm over it. Like, give me some vegetables.
You want to be nourished?
Give me Citizen Kane.
Sure.
Give me some.
I have good news for you.
Tired.
I have good news for you. Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire is on Netflix right now.
Ugh. It's like dipping my tongue in syrup. This is disgusting.
The trailer for the Bob Dylan movie starring Timothy Chalamet came out this morning.
Yeah.
Can we watch that? Was it good?
It's pretty good. I was actually pretty impressed. I didn't think they were going to use, like, it's actually him doing a Dylan singing voice. It's not terrible. I mean, Dylan's not a great singer, but like, I don't know. It was a good vibe.
Here's the thing, many face stuff in chat says, Bless would fall asleep during Citizen Kane. I took film class, and they made me watch Citizen Kane.
And did you fall asleep in that class?
I forced myself awake, because I had to take a test on Citizen Kane.
That implies that you fell asleep at some point, though.
No, I got tired. I didn't fall asleep, I got tired.
You said you forced yourself awake.
Exactly, and I didn't fall asleep. I forced myself to stay awake.
I rest my case.
Story number 3. Humble Games confirms restructuring amid reports all staff have been laid off.
Oof.
This is Matt Wales at Eurogamer. Humble Games, the publishing division of digital storefront Humble Bundle, says it has, quote, made the difficult but necessary decision to restructure our operations, end quote. Amid reports, it has laid off all staff, but insists it is not shutting down. Humble Games was formed in 2017 and has gone on to publish a significant number of acclaimed titles, including Stray Gods, Signalis, Slay the Spire, A Hat in Time, and Eurogamer's Game of the Year in 2021, Unpacking. Earlier today, however, several Humble Games employees took to social media with reports of layoffs at the company. Quote, at 9 a.m. this morning, business development manager Nicola Kwan wrote in a post on LinkedIn, 36 employees of Humble Games were told that we were being let go and that the company is shutting down, end quote. Quote, another year, another layoff, Humble Bundle senior QA Emily Kiefer added in a separate post. Today is mine and my entire team's last day at Humble Games, end quote. In response to those initial claims, a Humble Games spokesperson has now confirmed restructuring at the company, but insists it is not shutting down and that its upcoming releases, which include Monaco 2 and Wizard of Legend 2, won't be affected. The spokesperson added they, quote, cannot currently comment on staffing numbers at this time, end quote, when asked how many employees had been impacted by layoffs. Today's news follows an unspecified number of job cuts at Humble Games last November. Quote, in these challenging economic times for indie game publishing, Humble Games has made the difficult but necessary decision to restructure our operations, the company wrote in a statement provided to Eurogamer. This decision was not made lightly. It involved much deliberation and careful thought, with the goal of ensuring the stability and support of our developers and ongoing projects. Additionally, the restructuring of operations at Humble Games will have no impact on operations at Humble Bundle, end quote. Rough.
this is a ride, huh? Like, okay, so this is what happened yesterday with the breaking news on this. And then it's like, okay, the entire team's gone. What does that mean? They're closing? No, they're not closing, but they're restructuring, but they don't have that team. So it's like, so who are you outsourcing this to now? And then it's like, what is your commitment to the future of publishing games? Is it now that you get through these games and then don't do any? Because now if I'm an independent developer and I'm looking for a publisher and
you're not looking at Humble Games.
Whatever skeleton crew person outsource Humble Games, like, oh, fuck you guys, I don't want to be with you. I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
Yeah, I mean, reading all this, to me it sounds like, we're gonna get through these last couple of games with some kind of skeleton crew, and then shut it all down.
Shut it down.
Which sucks.
That sucks.
For clarification for people listening, this Humble, I know there's a whole kerfuffle yesterday about who owns what. Does IGN own Humble Games? IGN doesn't own Humble Games. They own Humble Bundle, and Humble Bundle is not affected. Ziff Davis, the parent company, owns Humble Games, the publisher. And so Humble Bundle.
And Ziff Davis owns IGN as well.
And Ziff Davis owns IGN, yes.
Yeah.
Can we get the org chart up here, please, real quick?
Absolutely not.
You got Ziff. Give me the whiteboard. Ziff here and Humble Games there. No. Humble Games there, and then IGN, and then Humble Bundle there.
Humble Bundle,
This is it's turning into the Always Sunny in Philly meme of just like pointing at a crazy chart. Also, someone in the chat was like, make sure IGN feels the heat as they throw like heat to other devs who lay off and stuff.
See, if you would have if you would have got me the whiteboard, that person would understand.
Yeah. I don't think they will, but I just want a reminder of like the creative team at IGN, the journalists, the on-camera talent, they have like no control or sit.
Oh yeah, sorry, they have no control.
They have no control or say in this. They barely have control or say in business dealings with IGN in and of itself, let alone different arms of IGN and Ziff Davis. So like, don't do that. Is just one thing I want to call out there before people get weird about it.
Just as a counterpoint, I'll go the opposite way. It's fucked up that Rev Valentine would start this union, then go behind the back of everybody to the top of Ziff Davis and tell them to fire these people at this thing, even though IGN doesn't. You know what I mean?
Should have joined the union.
If only I had the whiteboard to make it make sense, but I don't today.
I need a fact version of not real like financial advice of like not a real thing.
It's not a real thing. Everybody, calm down. Rev had nothing to do with this. Imran Khan, on the other hand,
orchestrated it. Story number 4, Mario plus Rabbids chief, is it Davide?
I'd say Davide.
Davide Soliani leaves Ubisoft after 25 years. This is Wesley Yinpool at IGN. Davide Soliani, who spearheaded the successful Mario plus Rabbids series of games, has left Ubisoft after 25 years. In a social media post, the former Ubisoft Milan creative director said he had left the company to embark on a new adventure, but failed to say what's next. Soliani was thrust into the spotlight after he wept during Mario plus Rabbids reveal at Ubisoft's E3 2017 showcase. His reaction has gone down as one of the all-time great E3 moments, a rare look of genuine pride and relief captured in the audience of a show normally given over to strictly controlled marketing beats.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Good luck on whatever comes next.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see like, is he gonna make more like Mario plus Rabbids style games? Is it gonna be like a family-friendly strategy thing, or is he gonna make a first-person shooter? He's gonna transition and make.
He's gonna make one of those porn games I talk about from Steam.
Exactly. Wait, there's porn games on Steam?
Lots of them.
I don't think on PlayStation. Steam doesn't allow porn games.
Do I need to show you the clip? I'll show you the clip.
Like, what kind? Are we talking about but not actual porn games?
No, I'm talking like anime titty porn games. Bless.
Like, I want to fuck my stepsister. Those are the kind of games that I.
But like everything's covered though, right?
Bless.
You're lying.
Do you have safe mode on your account? Like, come on, man.
I don't see this shit on Steam.
Barrett, I'm going to put into assets.
You're talking about like the type of stuff.
It up, whatever you're
the type of stuff that like when I was like 14 on Newgrounds, I would accidentally come across because I clicked the wrong thing, right?
Oh, accidentally.
Hold on.
I would never do that on purpose.
Barrett, I'm putting it.
You're you're a child of God.
How would I end up on that side of Newgrounds?
You wouldn't sin. I get it.
Barrett, I'm putting into assets. Remember, this is a Cool Greg edit, so this is safe. This is safe. You can watch. This is from when Skill Up invited me on a charity stream and then forced me to defend PC gaming.
All right.
That's when I pulled back the wool to let everyone know about what's really happening. Because there's so many more games on PC. Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are.
There's no way.
Hold on. The site might be. Let's see here. Yep.
Are they trying to censor me again? Trying to
No,
stop this?
I have
truth?
Instagram like muted in Chrome just in case.
Is simple. Every game under the sun is here. If you go to the PlayStation Store right now and you write in erotic, how many games do you find? The answer is 0. If you go to Steam and you write erotic, how many games do you find? 1,510 results match my search. Now these are the ones that have positive reviews. Erotic Justice, QU's Erotic Life, Erotic Jigsaw Volume 1, Family Breeding, Realms of Bondage, The Genesis Order, Self-Defense Dojo, Lust Academy Season 2. Don't worry, Lust Academy Season 1 also has positive reviews. This is what PC gaming is all about.
Bear, I'm gonna need you to bring up Lust Academy. I
want to thank Skill Up for giving me a platform to spread the truth. A lot of people these days in this PC era are trying to silence me, but
Family Breeding is a wild one.
That's a great name. Shout out to them. All right, that's a great
breeding,
one.
Bro, what the fuck are we doing?
I mean, that's how you make a family. Story number 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bless.
Nintendo
Can't walk away from that one.
Nintendo revokes win of Splatoon 3 World Championship victors Jackpot after misconduct allegations. This is James Batchelor at GamesIndustry.biz. Nintendo has revoked the win of the team that triumphed in the Splatoon 3 World Championship earlier this year after allegations of misconduct arose regarding several of its players. Jackpot won the official Nintendo competition back in April, but a statement on the Nintendo vs. X account yesterday reveals their win will be considered vacated and the team will not receive trophies from this competition. Quote, "It has come to our attention that certain members of Team Jackpot acted in a manner that is not in line with our community guidelines while playing the Splatoon 3 game," the platform holder wrote. While Nintendo did not specify what the allegations involved, Polygon reported that another competitive Splatoon player shared evidence on Twitter in June that members of the team had used racist language and slurs in social media posts and during Discord chats. There are also clips of these team members talking about other players using racist terms while streaming matches online. Nintendo has also released a Splatoon 3 in-game cosmetic item, a splash tag featuring the team's characters from the championships. This will be altered during an upcoming software update. Quote, "Nintendo cares deeply about our players and our community, and we take our responsibility to uphold our community guidelines seriously," end quote, the company said.
Fuck them.
See, this is why Nintendo doesn't support any of their competitive shit. Because, like, obviously, I'm coming back from Evo. Smash hasn't been at Evo in years and years and years. One of the big reasons Nintendo doesn't support that stuff. I forget if it's the fact that Nintendo, like if they block it wholeheartedly, or if it's just that they don't support it. Kindoffunny.com says you're wrong. Remind me.
They block it, right? I think they revoked people's privilege.
I think that's what it was. But yeah, chat confirmed for me. But yeah, like, it's shit like this. I don't know if you saw in the last few years, there's been like shitty stuff going on in the Smash community, like specifically like, you know, people striking a chord type stuff in the Smash community, if you know what I mean. Like, and that's the reason why Nintendo's like, actually, no, we don't want to have anything to do with this, because Nintendo, when you want to talk about like a company that is clean, a company that's like that wants no controversy and wants to, like, you know, maintain that image. It sucks to see stuff like this. Like, don't be out here being racist, especially if you're out here winning Splatoon champion.
I like how you don't just stop. You're like, especially
if you're a Splatoon champion. What reason do you have to hate to hate races of people? You know what I mean, Barrett?
What if they're just being racist to the Inklings?
Still unacceptable.
That'd be even crazier, you know? Like, they're spending their careers, their competitive careers with these Inklings. You think that they would
but you know how that goes.
Understand that they're just trying to be squid kids out there, and they have the right to be with us.
Listen, if you're going to be, if you're an esports player in any Nintendo game, it's because you washed out from the big leagues. You couldn't play any of the real games, so you had to come to these kiddie games.
Smash is really good, though, you know?
Dan Reichert, esports Mario Party player.
I mean, like,
here.
Smash, I will give to you, Bless, but like...
Oh, yeah, if you're a pro Splatoon player, it's like,
doing?
grow up.
Wearing that goofy
Call of
hat.
Duty. Yeah.
You know, that goofy little Inkling hat they all have. Filthy. Stinking. B.O.
Listen,
they even have jerseys, you know what I mean?
When Smash stopped showing up at Evo, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's gonna smell a lot better." Let me tell you, it didn't help. It didn't help. But Greg,
yeah,
this Splatoon news, it's big.
Big news.
It's huge.
Huge.
But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I needed to know about, where would I go?
You'd go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the tiny news items you need to know about.
Story number 6. It's time. We news. This first one's from VGC. Sony will begin rolling out a new PS5 beta update on Thursday. It will introduce personalized 3D audio profiles for headphones and earbuds, plus the ability to limit remote play access for individual users.
What the fuck you mean limit?
What'd you say?
What the fuck you mean limit?
Limit remote play access.
So, is me
So,
trying
like, if you share a console with somebody, actually, I have no idea. I have no idea why you'd want to do that.
Control F. Maybe it's like a parental thing. Hold on. I'm on the blog. Oh, they're talking
He's on the blog. According to Xputer, according to Xputer writer Ecstasis, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy will be released on Game Pass on August 8th. And then Shadows of the Damned Hella Remastered has received an October 31st, 2024 release date.
I feel like I'm probably the biggest remote player user anybody knows. And this is such a fucking weird... I mean, whatever. It's a wrinkle. It's a little thing you would do. You can now adjust remote play settings per user and choose who is allowed to connect to your PS5 using remote play. So, if your friends or family come over and sign into your PS5 with their account on PlayStation Network, you can easily modify who can continue to access your PS5 console using remote play when they leave.
Bless you. Bless you.
Good job, Greg, getting through all that.
Bless you.
This is to make sure that, you know,
Why
Benny
would I ever
is-
want Poe fucking remote playing on my system?
Well, but this is more, I think, more so if, like, if Benny, you know, let's say he's 11, 12, and the PS5 is still around.
Yeah.
And he's got his phone, and he's trying in bed at nighttime, past his bedtime, and he's trying to connect to the PS5, you know, you can access of like, hey, you're done. You're cut off. I feel like that's like one use case, but that's
I hear
really
you.
all I can think of in your like specific use case.
And that's it for Wii News.
Oh.
We got some super chats here. Mellow Fellow says there's a game called Goblin Gangbang on Steam.
Can I see the trailer, Barrett?
No.
Just show it to me. don't show it to them. Show it to
him.
us.
No.
I can do this.
Yeah, when you pull it up,
Goblin
center your laptop. so I can
I
see it.
know you're gonna get hives when you pull up Steam. But yeah,
Bang.
just do
Oh,
it
God.
yourself.
Now, this is the thing. I've had to wander into this cesspool so many times to make sure people know. Oh, man, Goblin Gangbang. The first thing that pops up is Pornhub. There it is, Steam.
Well, yeah.
Really?
Full market for it. I don't know.
Now, if I told you that was the first screenshot of Goblin Gangbang,
There's no
would you believe
way.
me?
There's no way. But like, there's no. Okay, let's be real. They're not showing like
You
titties
can't
and ass. in these
show
games.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are.
like naked titties and ass.
yeah, they got to.
Like
If I
like if it's not immortality,
if
they're
I
not showing.
get kicked, if one of these lights falls and hits me in the head, right? And I get something, I'm no longer, my brain's damaged.
Yes.
And then I start playing Steam. If I clicked on one of these and I didn't get titties and asses, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I would assume it's all like softcore, like
Does that look softcore to you? That is a goblin's penis inside of her.
that's porn.
That's inside of her. We'll just leave it there.
What,
We'll
Steam
just leave
lets
it
that
there.
happen?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Steam's made for perverts, of course. This is what I've
Wow.
been warning you about. This is what I've been warning you all about.
Barrett, I've had a Steam Deck
This is
for
what I've been warning
3
you
years, and I did not
about.
know about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry you thought it was a bit. It wasn't a bit. Steam is for perverts. How do I know? Let me show you this goblin's
God, no.
penis.
No, please no. Nice and Crispy says, can't imagine the staff are in the know at Humble.
Would you like to know the synopsis of this game?
Sure.
The story of how silly Emelina met a gangbang of goblins in the cave.
I don't think that's
shit.
You can't call it a gangbang of goblins. Gangbang is more of it's a verb. Like, wait, say that. Wait, play that again. I need to hear that.
I don't want to mean it too loud.
That's an audio right there. I think you can play that in the microphone.
No, I'd rather you not.
It's only $4.99. Oh, there was a summer update too.
Great.
Anyway, Nice and Crispy was saying that they pitched to some of the staff at Humble a couple weeks ago. Let's see. Okay, this is an interesting one. Boycott Activision says, I've seen big Sony YouTubers admit they hated Concord since announcement. A lot of ponies disassociate with risky products just in case it fails, i.e. PSVR 2. You gotta take the conspiracy hat off, bro. You're doing too much.
No, not just that. Get off the internet.
Get off
What are
the
you talking
internet.
about? I mean,
Go read a book.
I've seen them since.
Go hang out
since
with your
announcement.
community.
They hated it. Well, I mean,
Because the risky product.
It was risky announcement.
Which one, PSVR or Concord?
I don't know. I'm not going to do it.
If it's risky, we got to associate in case it fails, so we don't get called out on a thing that fails. Something that I never do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. Neslahan Bursa says, speaking of The Last of Us, can single-player story studios make a live service game work? For example, Remedy's Control spinoff, Condor. It's in full production.
Anything can happen. Mm-hmm. I think you have the right head on your shoulders. Of course, you don't work on a game for 7 years, get to 90% and go, oh, shit, we got to do stuff after the fact. Just don't do that, because that sounds totally rational. Let me tell you about this game. Dive into an exciting world of enchantment and discovery in our visual novel Goblin Gangbang.
It's a visual novel?
Immerse yourself in a unique narrative that combines whimsy and
What else do you think
intrigue.
it would be, Bless?
No,
a
I'm
fucking
looking at-
action platformer?
No, look at the screenshots. It does. It doesn't look like
Explore
a visual
a
novel.
hauntingly beautiful beach
3D models.
as you follow the journey of Amelia, a young girl who stumbles upon an unlikely companion in her quest to find her way home.
Yeah, is that doing it for you?
I feel like we need to wrap this show up.
Against the backdrop of the cave, Amelia discovers secrets that entwine her fate with that of the mysterious goblins.
People act as if, get creative, motherfuckers. People are like, oh, a porn game. Well, how can a porn game not be a visual novel? Imagination.
Remember Hot Coffee?
Exactly. Fucking innovation. Has there been
these goblins are hung.
Has there been a single player studio that has made that transition to live service successfully?
Would you? No, you want it. You want it.
What do you think on that? 3KO says, developer magic is crunch, no sleep, and burnout.
Yep.
Jiraiya Music says, Bless, have you seen the Not Like Us game? I've seen it. I've not seen much of the gameplay. As much as I enjoyed the beef, I feel like we're getting to a point where it's like, all right, we can calm down now. I don't need a new beef thing every single day. It happened. It's been months.
Would you count multiplayer to single player to multiplayer? Because then you could get Respawn in there. Because they came out with Titanfall and then they did Apex and then they did Star Wars and they came back. No,
I would want
just trying to get you some stuff here.
I think that you're trying to get creative here.
Yeah,
trying to help.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any year wrong. Yeah, I'm looking at year wrong. Oh, we have.
Actually, people aren't perverts.
I mean, somebody says Bungie counts as a successful transition. I mean, Bungie's first huge success. What am I, Halo?
Yeah, which wasn't. I mean,
which was
had a story,
yeah,
but it wasn't strictly a games as a service thing.
Sure, but you know what I mean. I'm talking about single player to live service. Banner Sen says, with regard to Smash at EVO, it's tricky to say for sure. Smash was at EVO up until Sony bought the company, but this also coincided with Nintendo teaming up with Panda Global for official Smash tournaments. I remember this. So they may not have wanted to work with PlayStation, or they didn't want to compete with their own plans. Additionally, the Panda Global competitions never actually happened, as there was a large controversy with the company's leaders strong-arming independent tournaments into joining them alongside Nintendo, making everyone get official permits to host tournaments with sponsors. It was a giant mess, and we haven't heard much from Nintendo since. It's hella complicated. That's a good call. I do remember large parts of that story, especially the Panda Global thing happening, because Panda Global getting that Smash license was exciting, and then Panda Global tanked because of what they were doing. So that is a very good explanation. I appreciate that, Bander SN. And that's it for kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Before we get out of here, do you have an answer for me?
No, I can't come up with one. I can't.
Somebody says Bethesda with Fallout 76. I'm not gonna call Fallout 76 super successful.
It got there, right? Still did a lot of damage.
But keep thinking, chat. I appreciate it. Of course, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy the screencast after this, your Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler-free review.
Spoiler-free.
And the stream after that.
Andrew Goldfarb's here for it, right?
Yeah.
Neat.
But until next time, Game Daily.
Game Daily.